So first pro is obviously the networking. So I got much more networking done this year than last year. But if you remember in my last video, I said I was going to live in those hallways and I would only spend like maybe 25% of the time at the actual presentations. I wasn't lying. I mean, my season two, which is going to be focused on lead generation for freelancers, I already have like 7 podcast guests and I've recorded 2 shows. So that's awesome. And most of them came from Vidsummit. So that's the networking in play. As far as another pro, obviously the information. Now, to be honest, the information you can watch that on the replays, but you could also sit in and watch them too. Also, if there's people you want to meet in the meantime, you could meet them. In terms of my favorite presentation, I will say, aside from Roberto Blake's presentation, which I got to see him again at Bit Summit, was pretty awesome. That's a picture of me and him, and he just knows so much about everything. Like we talk a lot on a regular basis, but it doesn't change in person. But yeah, I would say aside from his presentation, the one on email marketing, I can't pronounce the guy's name, but his first name is Jay. I would check that out because it really plays a role in you owning the relationship between you and your audience. Because these platforms are awesome, but what if something happens? You want to own that relationship. And if your YouTube channel gets shut down, your subscribers go with it. Nothing you can do about it. But if you have them on your email list, then you can do something with that. He shows great techniques on how to build that and how to maintain it. That's my favorite presentation that I watched. As far as the next pro, sponsorships. So I actually am in talks with I'm not going to say the app because I haven't cleared it to say the app yet with the sponsor, but it's a banking app that will allow creators to cash out their AdSense early in addition to just being a normal banking app. And it kind of reminds me of Creative Juice in that way. So if everything checks out, I'll be reviewing it on Financial Anatomy, and we'll be in talks of them sponsoring some videos on the channel that came from Vidsummit. That's awesome. And another pro is they had an after party, and I'll pull up some video footage later because I don't have it on me, but they had an after party and people were getting down. There was no after party last time. In my opinion, the music was too fruity for my taste, but I like the concept of an after party. All right, let's go ahead and keep that going. That's a pro. So I would say the first question is, what was your favorite thing about Bit Summit, like just in general?
I would say the networking opportunity that really gave me a +10 on the event as a whole because you might see these people on like social media or whatnot and reach out to them via DM or email, and that's way different than seeing them in the flesh live and just going sparking up a conversation maybe about their outfit, or you see like you, Elijah, for example. She saw your video and that sparked a conversation for y'all to just instantly connect. And
Right.
then meeting her with G Wiz, that's content right there, just off rip. Now imagine if she reached out to you via email and then somehow G Wiz got involved. Like that's way different than how we were able to just connect as a whole at the event and with the party they threw on the first day. That was a big networking event for sure. It got a lot of people to connect. Did some got some podcast footage done, did a lot of things like that. Me overall, I love the networking opportunity and the seminars as well. I really like Daryl Eves' seminar in particular. I feel like he really went in depth on developing your channel, finding your target audience, making videos for your target audience, and just getting your audience to interact and engage with your content for sure.
Okay. I did pull up Susie's channel so that people can see, but her channel is Travel Around Susie. She has content about the process of living out of a van and how to make various changes with that lifestyle. And with that lifestyle comes the ability to be nomadic. So definitely check her stuff out. Very interesting concept. It's in a niche that a lot of people just wouldn't be willing to do, But if you take that leap and you're willing to do it, hey, you can literally fill that niche. You're not going to find that many people that's going to be trying to do something like that.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
That
So we
I
can.
had, excuse me, sorry for cutting you off, but I also met someone else who did like a really specific niche content where she was doing challenges like hopping in a toy car and driving 500 miles. Like,
Oh,
yeah, like from one state to the next. And she said that video took around 2 months. And my thing is like, wow, the dedication that somebody might have to do that. But like you say, a specific niche and just finding that. And that's what helped her channel grow in her. Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That sounds like pretty similar. It's like a Mr. Beast take on a particular niche, but
Mm,
that video can get you the momentum you need to just keep continuing making videos about that niche. And it doesn't
exactly.
have to be so viral potential like that one. That could just be the conduit to get them there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. So Kelly, what was your favorite thing about Vidsummit this year?
Well, based on that specific question, my favorite thing was actually doing the interview with G Wiz. And it was my favorite thing just because I have never done anything so spontaneous and unscripted before. And so I think it really gave me confidence to try to think of another idea to do and just to implement. And I think one thing that Vidsummit does is that it's really a good vehicle to build some sort of like personal momentum, right? You do something that you're afraid to do, if that's talking to Jenny Hoyos or just someone really big, right? And because you did that, you feel like you could do more. And I think that's part of the magic of Vidsummit is that it brings you out of your comfort zone and it makes you think, what's the next thing that I could do to build me out, to bring me out of my comfort zone and to just make me feel like so proud of myself and empowered.
Nice. Gee whiz, you got something to say in that regard? Since
I love that. I try to bring people out of their comfort zones because I know what it's like to be stuck there. And just that momentum that you build by just doing it. Like it was taking me out of my comfort zone to bring my mic and do spontaneous interviews. But I'm glad that I had an impact on you and that you can now do what you need to do to get your love letter for books out to the world, because like I'm looking for more content on your page. I'm sure there's people looking for more content on my page, but I think the fear sits between us and our audience, and we just got to melt that away so our people can get exactly what they need.
Beautiful. So Yuli, what was your favorite thing about Vidsummit this year?
I don't know if I can beat that. That was very poetic. I will say she was very excited. She's like, oh. And so I will second that. She definitely was excited. It was really nice to see her out of her comfort zone. Definitely, she like super beat me at that this time around. So I think so the one obviously major thing that's kind of nice about it is that yes, I have like a PhD in like YouTube, right? Like from watching the Nick Nimmons and Roberto Blakes but the seminars are still nice, because it's not like they're all up there just talking about whatever they want. They make it a point to have everybody talk about a different aspect that is helpful and that we all at some point or another need to, focus on and learn about. So in my case, I really appreciated the Jay Clouse, where he went into really in depth, like every sentence was super valuable about memberships, and how he got that going and all that. So that was really, really good. But the other thing I would say that this year that I noticed is that I feel like a lot more people were focusing more, maybe because it's, their second or third time. And so they were focusing more on the networking aspect of it. And I don't know if it was me, but to me, it seemed like last year was our first year. And to me, this year seemed like people were way more willing to like go up to you and just say, hey, so what's your channel about? And just start randomly talking to you. And I think that that is really, really neat because I feel like that's where you really like build that personal, like Kelly and everyone else, that like you build that personal relationship. It really creates this like excitement and momentum and motivation. So
Okay. You actually reminded me to bring up something that I forgot. Another big plus this year was how they handled registration. Last year, there was a line on top of a line on top of a line on top of a line that went outside the door until they figured stuff out. I was in line at least for like 90 minutes at the very minimum. That wasn't so bad because the whole purpose of that registration day is to network. So here you are stuck in the line. Of course, you're going to talk to people around you. But this year, I was in line for like 3 minutes, and that was it. Got my stuff, and then I was free to roam the hallways as I pleased to interact with everyone, as opposed to, well, that person, 15 people in front of me, yeah, I wouldn't mind talking to him or her, but I don't want to lose my place in line. So, yeah, that was a big pro for this year. It was definitely a more streamlined in that regard. So,
Hold on.
I'm glad they had it like that last year because that's how you and Kelly met.
I was gonna say
we met in line.
Like we would never have met without registration last year.
That's true. Even though she keeps diminishing her role, Yuli and me are still the co-founders of our little Vidsummit crew.
That's true.
Not really, because that's it. You left. We had that. We were in that extra silly line, and you left, and that's it. I was not gonna see you again. Probably, maybe I would have bumped into you, but when I came out of doing my thing, you guys had already created a little crew, so that was cool. So I had part in it.
It's easier to create a crew when you're stuck there and you're waiting for food. We didn't know we would be stuck for an hour and a half. And here we are 1 year later, voluntarily stuck on supporting Elijah on his live stream.
How about we take out the word stuck and keep that same? That'd be awesome.
Philosophical.
I was going to say, we are voluntarily connected.
I like that. I like that better. Let's roll with G Wiz's terminology. Speaking of you, what was your favorite thing in Vidsummit?
Man, I have to say, my favorite thing anywhere I go is the people. And I know that your network is literally your net worth. You can get rich by changing the people you hang around, not just rich in money, but rich in connections, rich in education, rich in opportunities. There's so much that can come from, like you said, hanging out in the hallways. And Dijon mentioned the toy car girl. I want to say just getting to know so many YouTubers that are doing so many things that I didn't think I could do. Like there's a guy I met, Lucas Decker. One channel he plays with yo-yos. The other channel he builds Legos. The most amazing videos about Legos, like the creativity was out of this world. There was, I mean, I don't have time. I got to go live myself and talk about all of the people that I met, because I met so many people that did so many niche things, but I felt bad not going to the sessions. And then I heard there was a replay and I was like, all right, well, if there's a replay, I'm definitely going to do my butterfly, social butterfly thing where I just connect as many people and connect with as many people as I can. And I do not have any regrets. So being able to meet so many people. And I think the thing that in any networking event that always blows my mind is no matter what level of where I've got in the world, we kind of look up to people and think they have arrived because they have some sort of status. So like 2 million subscribers, 20 million subscribers, 50 million subscribers, and they still feel that human imposter syndrome, if you will, that they're still not, they still haven't arrived. They're still not there. They still don't, because they're not this person. And so knowing that no matter where you go, people still feel human. They still feel not inadequate, but they still feel like they're not where they want to be. And everyone I met there was humble enough to have a conversation with me, no matter how many subscribers they had. And you can't get that. Like if I was to, like Dijon said, if I was to reach out to any of these people in DM, it would not be the same. Like you can't read energy, you can't read intention, but in person, you stand next to someone, you can pretty much tell if they have negative intentions or, they're just, you can tell it's just an energy thing. I think it was being in the room with the energy of the people doing the things that you want to do and realizing that the only thing standing between you and the YouTube that you want to grow is your fear. Because there are people that are out there doing it and making it, and the only difference is because they keep showing up for their audience. So it was a big learning thing for me. I'm a lot more inspired to show up for my audience now. What was my other favorite thing was the location was actually in Dallas this time. Because I've traveled for a lot of conferences in the last 6 months. I'll actually be in Florida next week for a mastermind with Myron Golden. And it's so much better when I can just drive there. So that's a plus for me. And I hear it's going to be there again next year. So yeah.
Hey, as a local myself, I'm feeling that.
Yeah. And to meet people like Kelly and Dijon and yourself, I didn't get to talk to you as much, Yuli, but I remember you. We met towards the very end. And just these are connections that we'll be able to do things together here in the coming months that we wouldn't have been able to do had we not met each other. And to hear about your story, Elijah and Kelly, like when I heard that y'all came to the last one and now you're still connected, that gave me hope, because now I have connections. It's one thing, and I'll shut up after this. One thing that I found out was content creation, much like any other niche field, is very lonely. And so there's no one to talk to about what you do because not many people do it. And so when you find a community of people doing the same thing as you, it's easier to have those conversations like, hey, I'm struggling with this. And they know exactly what you're talking about. That's it.
Oh, valid points. What did you press? Was that your equivalent of a mic drop?
That's what that was.
Yep. Okay. I like that.
Elijah, I think Kelly should probably add to that what we were talking about a few minutes ago about how neat it was to be at at this place with everyone talking about like their passions. You can say it better, but it basically tags on to what he just mentioned. How how incredible it was to talk to all these people about different things.
Oh, yes. One thing I got out of it, and I think everyone would agree, is I really admire quirkiness, but I forgot how much I admired it because people ask questions at Vidsummit like, what's your dream? What do you really care about if you can make money about anything? And then you look around and people do make a lot of money doing what they truly love. So when I go back from that world, I always just think about like how magical it is to talk about like what you really care about and how you could do more of that and what excites you. And just having those type of conversations, I think coming away from it, like I came back and I was like, okay, I need to do more of what excites me because it's such a good feeling, but it actually like inspires you to take more action. Also because you make such wonderful friends and all we talk about is like, what do you really care about in this world? What value do you want to bring? At least that's my take. So feel free to agree or disagree.
I don't think anyone would disagree. Am I right? Everyone agrees, right?
I agree, 100%. 100%. I love being able to talk about my passions in a room full of people who also have their things that they're very passionate about, and we're all just connecting and sharing different ideas. And like, excuse me, like it was said, content creation is a very lonely thing, and so being able to connect with people that do the same thing and just reciprocate that energy is definitely a good feeling. Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's pretty neat to connect with people. Sorry, I would just say what he said. It's pretty neat to connect with. If you think about it, we're all connecting with. We have this bond, but yet we're all doing for the most part, totally different things. Yeah. But yet we have this one bond in common. So that is pretty neat. I don't think you see that in other areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe here and there, but that's pretty cool.
Well, and so many ideas just flow when you get around a room full of creative people. So like I came back on fire with some new ideas of things I could do.
Well, I'll just add on top of that, Tim, we'll go to the next question. But I definitely can relate to that. This was after the summit when we were just kind of hanging out. But when me and Roberta were talking, and Kelly and Yuli were present for this, but he kind of re-inspired me to get back to doing the Financial Freedom Fridays that I did on the Side Hustler Society. Because I stopped doing them because this whole invalid traffic glitch is going on YouTube, which has cut ad revenue in half. And he just kind of told me, like, he brought up something I kind of forgot. He's like, Elijah, like, you make like 80% of your income off of YouTube. So the money doesn't matter in terms of what YouTube's paying you. It can be conduits to market other products and serve your community. So you should still do it. You should start it back up. And he had a point. Then I just started getting inspired about, okay, so what's the next one going to be? The next Financial Freedom Friday I'm going to talk about the gig economy. Then the one after that, I'm going to talk about YouTube. And then the creativity starts to reflow because they've been stagnated because of BS that was going on. So, yeah. Sup, everyone. Y'all just watched a clip from one of the episodes of the Side Hustler Society podcast. If you want to check out the full episode, you can click on the link in the description right now or click on the video that's showing in the end screen. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and hit that bell notification if you want to be notified when another episode drops. And a thumbs up on this video is very much appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one.